So hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Esther again. This is not me capping, but so many people have asked me about like my nursing journey or whatever, and I really didn't want to do it alone.
Really? People have been asking?
Yeah, people really have asked, like they privately, and like some people have
even
even.
I'm just kidding.
No, like for real, people have asked me like how I even passed the NCLEX. I decided who better to do it with than my two friends. Oh, the other one Korea, so
tricky.
We decided to do it today, just me and her, because we're gonna be busier. Yeah, I would have loved for her to be here, but you know, you get what you get. Introduce yourself.
Yeah.
Tell the peeps who you are and what you do.
Oh, God. Okay. My name is Sylvia. You're gonna make me laugh. Okay. My name is Sylvia Ndongo. I am a nurse.
Okay.
I'm a nurse, and specifically, I'm a adult nurse, so I take care for adults. I work on a PCU/med-surg floor.
What's PCU?
So basically, PCU is patients who, it's like downgrade from an ICU. ICU is intensive care unit, so it's like the sick of the sickest. So I usually get patients from the ICU to my floor, like after they come from the ICU, if they don't end up going home.
Okay.
So, and then also med-surg, where it's like they're not really that sick, but they're still stable. So I've been doing that job for the last 2 years. I really enjoy it. I really do like nursing. I mean, there's definitely pros and cons of nursing. But for me, where I am right now, I really enjoy it. You get to care for people. You get to meet a lot of people. And that also ties into like why I got into the healthcare field. And yeah, I've been doing that for the last 2 years, and I really enjoy it. And I think definitely I know that I got into the right career. Like, this is what I was meant to do. And I've been told by like many patients also, it's just like, yeah, you're in the right place. And I think for me that was also very affirming, because it's like I'm doing what I'm supposed to.
Yeah. Nasikia tuko kwa woods guys. Mimi nasikia kelele hapa. I'm like, oh God. Don't be an animal. Anyway, but so Sylvia graduated a year before me. I work in a it's a telemetry, so basically PCU setting, but I also do get some med-surg patients. I also get a lot of people who, like, when they go for for people who are coming like for heart procedures and they have to stay overnight for observation, they come to our unit. Like surgeries, they stay overnight, they come to our unit most of the time. Unless they're really, really sick, then they go to ICU. So yeah, basically we basically do the same thing, honestly. Natalie works in like I want to say it's
I think it's med-surg.
Med-surg unit, but hers is also has a little bit of mental health.
A lot of mental health.
I know. What? That's a tough one. Yeah. So hers, they're not very sick, but some of them might have just mental health issues or like social issues.
Yeah.
So that means like hawana mahali pengine pa kwenda. So wanakaa hospitali mpaka siku yenye mtawapatia like mahali pa kwenda. Which is also
that's
good.
what American healthcare is so good sometimes.
So anyway, so yeah, that's what we do. So we graduated at the same time, high school. Yeah, we went to high school together with this girl. Even middle school, a little bit. So we graduated together in high school. And then how was your journey? Like, how did you transition from being like, okay, you're going from this, how did you know you wanted to be a nurse? Like, was it something, how did you get there?
I think for me, so when I was a kid, obviously like in Kenya, like any other kid, I used to always say I want to be a doctor. And I think for me, it never changed. Like, it never changed. It was always like, this is what I want to do, you know?
Had that English, you never changed it.
Oops. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so it never changed, because I was like, I want to be a doctor. And then I got into high school. I was like, yeah, there's no way. Like, I'm gonna go to med school. I'm gonna do residency. I'm never gonna get married. Like, I was in that.
You're not trying
space.
to be Paul?
I was in that space of my education. This is my time. But then the year before I went to college, my mom was like, okay, Sylvia, like, yes, you want to be a doctor. Like, what if you did like nursing before and then go into like med school if you still want to do it? Because by the time I was done with high school, I would say my passion for being a doctor had definitely like lessened a little bit over the years. It wasn't like as strong as it was before. So she was like, since like you're still kind of like not necessarily up in the air, but since you're not so sure that this is exactly what you want to do right now, why don't you do nursing first and then transition into medicine after? And like I was like, okay, like I was a little bit like hesitant about it, but I was like, okay. And honestly, like that was one of the best decisions I think my mom really helped me to make. But then to be honest, like why I wanted to be a doctor, when somebody would ask me, it's like, oh, like I want to like get to talk to people and like care for people, and I really just want to be like personable. And if you know anything about me, I'm very personable. Like I want to talk to people, I want to get to know your story and all that, unless I'm socially tired sometimes, but for the most part that's who I am. So got into nursing school, went to Northwest University. It was a Christian university, which that's a whole different story. But anyways, it was a Christian university. I went there and they had a nursing program. So I started doing chemistry. And I was like, guy, I can't believe doing sciences for like the next 4 years. I was like, thank God I chose nursing. But then I remember, so going to a Christian university, I know, I'm sorry, this is a long story. Going to a Christian university, we have chapel. And I remember there was a chapel that we had that was very impactful for me. The guy who preached, he preached about like looking at life as a rope. So let's say a rope this long, and then like maybe like about this much is your life here on earth, and then the rest is eternity, whether it's in hell or whether it's in heaven. So he was like, what are you gonna do with this little small chunk? Because sometimes I feel like we think that life is so like we have so many years ahead of us, but in reality it's so small compared to God. So he was like, so what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like do something that's impactful and meaningful. And I was like, to be honest, I don't want to spend 10 years of my life in school. Like there's no way. So from that moment I was like, you know what, I don't think I want to go to med school at all. Like I think I want to get into nursing, help out people, care for people, and do like my calling. So I was like, nursing is for me. So I went to Northwest University, like I said. It was a 4-year university, and I always knew I wanted to go to university. So right out of high school, I was like, bet, I'm going to university. So I went.
So why I got into nursing, honestly, I needed something that would stabilize me. Like I cared for people, I cared for people, but I really needed something that would stabilize me financially. So I went into nursing, and I ended up liking it more than I thought I would.
Wow, yours is short and quick.
But it's because for me it was like, because I started out as a PA major. But then I was like, PA is basically physician's assistant. Because I knew me, I knew bedside would not be for me for like for a long time. Because it's too much. Like now, honestly, sometimes it can be really mentally draining. So I started out as a PA major, but then I was like, nitaenda shule ya PA, which is almost like 7 years. It's 4 years of prereqs, and then 4 years of prereqs, which is like prep school, and then you take an entrance exam, and then you go to school for like 2 more years, and then residency, right? If I'm not wrong. But me, I was like, after these 4 years, nitakuwa watu wapi pesa? Because that's a good thought to ask yourself. So I was like, you know what? Let me just go into like, so when it came down to it, I was like, let me just go into nursing. And then, so that if I don't even like it, I can know I don't need to progress with this PA thing. Because PA was already going to take me 7 years. Yeah. That's why I got into it. And then like, but as I got into it, you realize that there's so much need for nurses. Or like, there's so much need for like a Christian to be there and care for those people. So that's why I stayed. Because it's really easy to not stay. Like we had students who dropped out of school. So it's really easy to not stay. And I feel like every day that I would go serve those people and I go work with those people, like God confirms to me, like I'm actually in the right space. And you know, it's crazy. My mom always used to say that she really wanted to be a doctor. Like my mom is a smart cookie. Like she was so smart. If she had the ability, she would have become a doctor. So she always prayed to God that one of her kids would be a doctor. And I think that's how I think it was just by God's divine plan for me to end up in the healthcare field. I didn't go to like a straight 4-year college. What I did is that I did 2 years of community college, which is just, how do I define community college? It's college, but they don't have 4-year.
It's like broken down. So community college, it's like for 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's
after 2
cheaper
years
than like going to like a 4-year university.
So
that's the smarter way to do it.
I did my 2 years at the community college, and then after 2 years I transferred into a 4-year college, which is the school that she was going to.
I inspired them to come.
No, you didn't. And you have to be really careful as you're transferring. So this is for my community college people. If you're going to a 2-year, as you transfer, be very careful how you transfer, because you can waste a year. Because I think that's what I did. That's what Natalie and I did.
Pause right there. Before, like, you transfer, know where you want to transfer to.
Know where you want to transfer to.
Yeah.
Know the classes that they need.
Yeah.
Know the classes that they require for you to get into their program, and then transfer the first year. I said transfer the first year.
Yeah.
Transfer the first year so that you can be taking your science classes, and also you can work with them to take their core classes. Because every 4-year university has 2 different aspects. They have the prerequisites. These are the nursing prerequisites or the program prerequisites. And then they have their core classes. Hizi ni classes zenye kama we ni major wa nursing, kama we ni major wa theology, kama we ni major wa engineer, you have to take these classes. So Northwest had like maybe 4 or 5 of them. So I had to take those 5 classes before I could actually start their nursing program. So that's why me and Natalie lost a year as we were transferring, because me and Natalie went to the same community college.
They came
and then we went to Northwest pamoja. So we did the transfer process together. But yeah, so if you're going to community college, research the 3 main. I say research the 3 main schools you want to go to, not the main school you want to transfer to, and then now start your, and then so that as you're taking your classes, you can keep in mind like this is what I need also for the other school, and coordinate with the advisor for that school that you're transferring into, so that they can pre-approve your classes. It's loud. Yeah, honestly, we apologize for the noise because there's really nothing we can do about it, and we're just gonna have to be louder. We're in Michigan. But yeah, so that's just a tip for my community college people. And honestly, if you need any help transferring, reach out. I can go into more detail, because I feel like that can be a whole topic by itself. For nurses For nurses who are in a 4-year college, in like a university, do they have to apply to the nursing program?
Yes.
Can they fail that school's nursing program?
Yes. And that's tragic.
What are the options then? Like, what do I do?
First of all, before you even apply, like, know the requirements that you need to apply. So, for example, the school that we went to, we had to have like a 3.0, and you couldn't have a B- or lower for any of their core prereqs classes. And
so
then
for the nursing program.
Yeah, to get into the nursing program.
Okay.
And you also had to take an entrance exam, which was the TEAS exam.
Yeah.
And you had to get a certain score for that. So every program has different benchmarks of like what you need to do to get in. So obviously prepare yourself in order to be able to be prepared when it comes to applying. But then if you don't apply, and then if you don't get in, you're gonna have to look for another nursing program. So like I know this girl I went to nursing school with, she went to UW and did all her prereqs in UW, but UW is very competitive and she didn't get into the UW nursing program. So she had to come and apply to our nursing program, and luckily she got in.
Okay.
So it's not like all hope is lost if you don't get into your school's nursing program, but also like be like prepare Ali and know like what you need to get in.
So that you're not taking a class that you don't need, one, and you're not taking a class thinking it's a joke. Class is important, like, because even for me as a transfer student, all my classes, like, different schools obviously have different requirements, but most classes, like if you're a science, you're doing any health degree, literally any science, you have to get more than a B. More than a B.
Or 3.0.
And sometimes they only take, like, if you repeat a class more than twice, some schools won't take you. Yeah.
It's cutthroat.
Yeah. It's really hard. It's really competitive. So those are things to keep in mind. Those are really good things to keep in mind. What else do you think they should keep in mind as they're applying?
I forgot.
Okay, some states, not every school requires an entrance exam. I had saw schools that didn't require entrance exams. So know if your school requires entrance exams. The schools in Arizona don't require the TEAS test. They require HESI. A HESI test, which I don't know what it's all about. I think it's the same setting, but I'm not very familiar with it. So also know like the state. Also, if you're applying to, the best way to like see all the nursing programs is go to nursing CAS. nursing cast. Did you guys applied there too, right?
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
some schools that don't use nursing cast. There's some
Yeah.
like UW doesn't use nursing. Well, UW is University of Washington. It does not use nursing cast. It has its own like application on their own website.
What I liked about nursing cast is that it shows you every school's requirements and their due dates, because also schools here are not as forgiving. If you miss a due date, you've missed it.
Yeah.
There's no
Apply
grace.
next year.
Apply next year. Come another day. So those are just small tips to think about. So you got into the nursing program. How competitive was it to get in, and how hard was it for you to see yourself through that course? Because it's 2 years. The nursing program itself is 2 years. At least for our school it was. So how competitive was it to stay?
So for like for our school, they gave priority to the students who were already applying there, and then the outsiders, then they would give them second priority. So it was essentially still competitive to get in, because I had a friend who we were like in the same class and we were supposed to apply together, and she didn't get in. She had to get waitlisted. So it essentially was competitive, but by the grace of God, we got in. I got in, I should say. And then throughout the nursing program,
Ulikonda.
Guy, let me tell you, I even had like parents I'd like grown up with asking me what was wrong, because I was going through it, man. Nursing program, I think, really tested my faith, for one.
Yeah.
Also really tested my mental health, for two.
Yeah.
Hey, my God.
Why
But
your
we
faith?
made it.
Why your
My
faith?
faith, it was like not believing. I'm very hard on myself. That's one of my things I need to work on. I'm very hard on myself. Like, everybody else can tell me, Sylvia, you're great. Sylvia, you're great. Like, can you meet me? I'm like, no, I'm not. So for me, it was essentially like I didn't think I could make it. And that brought in a lot of anxiety. So it really had to take me to trust God. Like, hey, you're the one who put me here, and you're gonna see me through even to the end.
Yeah.
And here I am with
Why your mental health? Why your mental health?
My mental health was anxiety. Oh my God, my anxiety was at an all-time high. Let me tell you, like, I was even throwing up. I laugh now, but oh God.
It was
But
tragic.
even my mom was concerned.
It was tragic.
Karibati my mom anza kununulia vitu za kugain weight. Because I wasn't eating. Like, I was so stressed. I joke about it now, but like, it's honestly part of my testimony. But I was just really stressed. And for me, like, this is also like things I've been learning right now as I'm getting older, is not to take things very seriously. I think for me, sometimes I take things very seriously,
Very
especially
amazing.
with like school and
Yeah.
stuff. And I think that just has to do with being a firstborn daughter. I'm just gonna say that. Just kind of like this like level of like perfection, and like this needs to get done, and everybody out there is watching me, and like I feel like I'm on the spotlight, so I put a lot of pressure on myself that nobody else was putting on me.
Yeah.
So it really drove me to a lot of anxiety, but you know, God helped me.
We made it.
We made it.
We like that.
Trust in the Lord and
Ili
no,
not
no,
on
no,
your-
no, no.
Yes, Chitchat. Mtu anashikilianga hivi.
Honestly, that verse literally it helped me through so much. But yeah, so the nursing program, it
Intense.
wasn't
It's
easy.
intense.
It's very intense.
very
It
intense.
wasn't easy, but it's not impossible. Let's always tell people, like, it's not easy, but it's not impossible. Like, I definitely, like, I did it well with passing flying colors, but it was possible. But with a lot of support, man. I had a lot of support.
So on my part, I think getting in, as she's saying, so the people in the school, like, who are already enrolled from first year, when you walianzia hiyo shule,
Walianza na prereqs.
yeah, na prereqs, they get first priority, and then now the people who are transferring into get second priority in state, and then what out of state, they get the third priority. By the grace of God, which was such a miracle, Natalie and I got in at the same time. So we did our nursing career, nursing prereqs together, got into nursing program together.
How can you invite?
So you were ahead of us. You were ahead of us. And she was with our other friend who was also doing our other Kenyan friend. But yeah, so we got in. How hard was it to stay? Was it competitive? Yeah. And it's so, oh my God, kwanza the weight of finding out whether you got in. Because sasa, unaanzia kufikiria, if I didn't get in, then I need another game plan. Mimi, we had cast all our eggs in that basket.
Yeah. Me too,
So
I only applied to one school and that's it.
I only applied to one school. And honestly, my mom, my family, and Natalie's family, they used to pray for us hard. Okay, mention Esther, you better mention Natalie, because we're going together. And we really prayed for these guys too to get in. And we thank God we got in. How hard was it? The nursing program was very challenging. Oh my God. It tests your capacity to handle stress. What? Kuna siku ulikuwa unaamka unashangaa, wallahi, what am I doing here? Should I really go home?